So, very good afternoon to you all. I welcome you all into the industrial pharmacy first. Dear student, today we will going to start the new topic from the industrial. What is important to know is that what is the purpose for which we are going for the packaging. Let us say, for example, if you had gone to some particular shop, let us say if you want to purchase a particular common salt, and if you are going for purchasing a particular device, say like say the mobile device, then what the difference you will going to observe into these two different products? If it is the common salt, then you will going to find a simple kind of packaging of a polymeric material or a polythene bag that is going to be which will contain the common salt. But if you go, so this is because of what, or this is for what purpose? This is just in order to differentiate. See, the packaging that will forms the most important part of any kind of product, any kind of material. So the packaging that will has the different purposes. The packaging, it is just simply not only to carry the material, not only to simply protect the material, not only simply to identify, but it has its purposes beyond that. Like say the packaging that will determine, that will reflect the quality and the cost of the product. As I said that the common salt, which is available at a very cheaper rate. So we cannot go for a very expensive packaging in case of the common salt. But if it is the mobile phone, because it is the luxurious and the sophisticated device, the same. So that is what is the introduction related with the packaging. Now, after going through the details associated with the packaging material, the student, they will be able to understand the role, importance, and the requirements of the pharmaceutical packaging. They will going to understand the basic properties of the different packaging materials, and our lesson plan that will move in order to understand all these things. We will move like say the purpose and the requirements of the pharmaceutical packaging, the types and the properties of the materials for the packaging, the different kinds of the container materials that are going to be used, and the last but not the least, that is the closures. So what the packaging is? Now, as I told that packaging, this is the verbatim definition of the packaging. What it is? It is the science. Why it is going to be called science? Because based on the type of product, the material has to be selected. It is an art and technology of enclosing. What we are doing in case of packaging, we are going to be enclosing, or we are going to be protecting. What we are going to be protecting? We are going to be protecting the product. Now, what is the need to protect the product? Because we need to sell this particular product. So in order to make it elegant, we need to store this particular product in order to ensure the quality, in order to ensure the stability, in order to ensure the safety, in order to ensure the efficacy, the three most important words, that is the safety, efficacy, and the stability. So in order to ensure the safety, efficacy, and stability, there is a need to go for protecting and having the suitable packaging of a particular product. So it is, how it is going to be useful in case of the packaging or using, because it is going to be useful in case of packaging and has its purpose in case of use, because like say the aerosols, the aerosol, the device that is most important in order to pack the aerosol, in order to pack the propellant along with the drug substance. Next, the pharmaceutical packaging, it has its particular meaning, that is the combination of the components that are necessary, in order to contain, that is necessary in order to preserve, that is necessary in order to protect, and that is necessary in order to deliver a safe, efficacious, and the stable drug product. Now, this packaging, it should be such that at any time point before expiration date of the product, of the drug product, a safe and efficacious dosage form that should be made available. So stability, safety, and efficacy, these three purposes, these are going to be achieved, these are going to be solved by the suitable packaging. What will be the role of the packaging, or how the packaging that is important? The packaging has its role in different ways, like say it has its role in case of the identification, protection, information, presentation, and the convenience. So in order to understand, or in order to summarize all these, we can use the uh, acronym, we can use the abbreviation IPIPC. Note that this abbreviation, this that is just for understanding purpose, and it is not official. Only just to summarize the things. The first I that will stands for the identification. Let us say, for example, the painkiller, that is the diclofenac sodium tablet. So the patient can come to know that the green packaged product, right? So the green packaging product, that is the painkiller product, or that is the painkiller tablet. But every time we cannot go for correlating the things, because the green packaging may be having some kind of other types of drugs, but there is no thumb rule related with this, but it will serve as a purpose of identification most of the time. Because if you will see the green, so the first purpose or the first role of packaging, that is the identification. The second purpose for which the packaging that is used, that is the protection. So the packaging that will offers the protection from the light, the protection from the moisture, the protection from the air reactive gases, the protection from the microbes, protection from the physical damage, and protection from the adulterations. Because a similar kind of product, they may get mixed with each other, right? There is no physical damage if the tablet that is going to be enclosed, or the capsule that is going to be enclosed into its packaging, it will going to be protected. It will going to be protected from the effect of the light. Let's say, for example, if colored substances are there, if coloring material is added into these products, like say the tablets, so that color that may get become faint when it will get exposed to that of the light. The material may contain some of the moisture, or the hygroscopic substances, like say, which will absorb the moisture and they will get liquefies. So in that case, in order to protect them from that of the moisture, again it is important. Then there is a air and the reactive gases, the air that may come in contact with that of the product and that will degrade the product. So that can be protected by having the suitable kind of the packaging. Microbe they cannot attack onto the product. Let's say for example, if the product that is from the biological source, then in that case, if you are going to be protecting it in case of the suitable packaging, that product can be protected. So it will serve as the many purposes, like say offering the protection from the physical damage and the alteration. The packaging that will also provide the information. We will going to find the lots and lots of information from that of the packaging. Whatever may be the kind of packaging, whether it will be primary, secondary, or tertiary, it will definitely provide us the information. It will provide us the information of the coding of manufacturing. It will provide us the information for the name of the product. It will provide us information about the strength of the product. It will provide us information about the quantity of the product, the manufacturing details, like say the manufacturing batch number, who has manufactured, when has manufactured, what is the license number, what is the date of manufacturing, what is the date of expiry, who had manufactured the product and who had marketed the product, any instruction related with that of the storage, any kind of warning, any kind of directions of for use. So all this information that is going to be provided onto that of the packaging. So the packaging that will serve the purpose of all this information. The packaging will serve as a source of suitable presentation of a product. It is very difficult, or it may not be looking good just to give the 10 tablet or say 20 tablet just by packaging into a particular plastic bag, or say into a paper wrappers, right? So instead of that, if it is going to be suitably packaged, like say 6 tablet or say 10 tablet or say 20 tablet or 15 tablet or 30 tablet, it will serves as a purpose of good presentation of the product. So just we need to give the one strip, so that the 6 tablet or the 10 tablet that can be given to that of the patients, and the product that will going to be protected, there will is no contamination of the product. There is a convenience in case of the dispensing, right? This which is already told, because if we have to pack it into a polythene or into a paper, then every time we have to go for counting, we have to place it, and we have to go for folding the paper or that particular plastic material. Then that will increase the time, and that will require the special kind of techniques and the training how to pack and all. But if it is suitably packed, then there is no need, because it will improve the use, it will improve the convenience of dispensing. So just we have to take out one strip and we have to hand over it to the patients. Now, if we see the packaging, there are different types of the packaging which are said to be the primary packaging and the tertiary packaging. So our product is the tablet, and this tablet that is going to be packed, like say there is a blister packaging or there is a aluminum packaging. So this is the kind of packaging or the primary packaging. It is the kind of packaging which will directly come in contact with that of the product. So that is said to be the primary packaging. Now secondary packaging, it is the particular packaging, like say 10 strip that are going to be placed into a secondary packaging, or say paper box. So that is said to be the secondary packaging. So you can see here, this is the secondary packaging, or if it is the bottles, then these bottles that can be placed inside this carton. So that is the secondary packaging, and such boxes are going to be placed into the another outer cardboard box. So that is the tertiary packaging. So what the packaging is? Primary packaging system that is made up of those package components and subcomponents that come into direct contact with the product, or those that may have a direct effect on the product shelf life. Let's say for example, there are ampoules, there are vials, there are strip blister packagings, etc. Secondary or the tertiary packaging system, it will consist of the paper box, it will include the cartons, and it will include the corrugated shippers. And secondary packaging that further placed into the tertiary packaging, which is useful for the process of shipment of the product. There are certain requirements that need to have in case of the pharmaceutical packaging. Now, these requirements are that it will protect the preparation from the environmental conditions, from the environmental damage or the breakage, the non-reactive with the product, and so does not alter the identity of the product. The packaging does not impart the tests or odors to the product. It should be non-toxic. It should be FDA approved. The it should meet the temper resistance requirement wherever applicable. That means there should not be any kind of the tearing off, and because of which, if the product that is going to be uh, any tampering that has been done, any breakage has been done, or any opening of the container has been done, that can be clearly understood. It should have adaptable to the commonly employed high speed packaging equipment. Let's say, for example, in case of the tablet packaging, because the process of tablet packaging and the capsule packaging that will occur at a very high speed, it should have sufficient strength so that it should not undergo the breaking every time. It should form the suitable shape as per the requirement with the help of use of the equipments. It should not get broken. It should have tensile strength. It should have flexibility. It should have elasticity, right? It should have shock absorbing property so that the integrity that will be maintained. So all these are the ideal requirement when we are going for selecting any kind of a particular packaging, or when we are going for designing any kind of packaging of a particular product. Now, there are certain criterias which are necessary to be fulfilled by the pharmaceutical packaging. So these criterias are: the first one, that is the stability. The packaging that should not alter, that should not affect the stability of the product. The product should not affect the properties of the packaging material. The packaging material should not affect the properties of the product. Any kind of interchange or exchange of the material or the leakage, that should not occur. That should not happen. It should be compatible with that of the content. Then the strength of the container and the degree of the protection that is required, that should be fulfilled. It should fulfill the purpose of protection. Moisture proofness, the product that should be proof from that of the moisture. It should be resistance to corrosion by alkalis and the acids. Any kind of effect should not occur onto the packaging material as far as the acids and the alkalis are concerned. It should be resistance to the grease. It should protect. It should have protection against the that of the salts, and the resistance to the microorganisms, insects, and the rodents. So all these are the selection criteria, ideal selection criteria in case of the pharmaceutical packaging. There are again another criteria, like say the resistance to the differences into the temperature, because say in the countries like India, we will going to see that there are extreme temperatures. There are variety of temperatures. There is a extreme cold, there is a extreme hot, and there is a extreme moisture. As there are different seasons, there are different like say the summer, winter, and the monsoons. So the packaging material that should offer protection in all these adverse conditions, on in all these extreme conditions. It should offer protection against that of the light, fire, and the pilferage. The required degree of protection that should be offered against to that of the fire and the pilferage. The odor retention and the transmission. There should not be any kind of uh, passage or any kind of passing or coming out of odor from that of the product to the outside. It should have the aesthetic value. The aesthetic value, that is the good looking value. Like say, as we will see in case of the aluminum packaging, as we will see in case of the blister packaging. The blister packaging that will be having more aesthetic value over onto that of the aluminum packaging, that is alu packaging. Cost, the cost is very important factor, because as I told you that if we are taking just the example of a common table salt, the table salt that is simply packed in a simple packaging, but if we see the another product like say the protein powders and all, these are going to be highly these are going to be packed into a suitable containers, whose packaging cost is much higher compared to that of the packaging cost of the salt. That is because of the product value. The table salt that is very cheaper, so that will require a simple kind of packaging, but the protein powders, these are very expensive, so they will require the high degree of packaging. Machine suitability of the packaging and the filling method, so the speed, the method, the material that should suits to that one, to its with precision. Convenience of the packaging for the physician, pharmacist, and finally the patient. Just what is the uh, amount, or how many will be the number of tablets? As you can see, in case of the anti-malarial product, there is a chloroquine which is going to be packed in a pack of say 5 tablets, right? But if you will see the paracetamol tablet, you will going to find it in the form of 10 tablets in a strip. If you just to take an example of the antifungal like say fluconazole, which is going to be having a packing of single tablet, and if you see the packaging of the oral contraceptive pills, you will going to find it in a 30 number of packaging, tablet packaging, or 21 number of tablet packaging. Same is the case associated in case of the calcium tablets or say the iron tablets, which are going to be suitably packed into a large number of tablets, like say the 30 tablets in a strip, and likewise. So that will purpose, or that will serve the purpose of convenience of packaging, which is convenient to prescribe by the physician, which is convenient to dispense by the pharmacist, and finally it is going to be suitable by the patients. Now there might be a possible interaction between the packaging material and the product, and these interactions should not occur. There should not be chemical leaching from the components of the packaging material. Any kind of leaking and contaminating the product, that should not occur. The release of visible and or subvisible particles from that of the product, they should not occur because of the interaction between the packaging material and the product. The absorption or adsorption of pharmaceutical components by the packaging material. Then the chemical reaction between the product and the packaging material. There should not occur any kind of like say the oxidation, reduction, hydrolysis, isomerization, racemization. All these reactions should not occur. And the degradation of the packaging component in contact with that of the product. If the product that is coming in contact with that of the packaging material, then there should not occur any kind of degradation. The packaging is essential source of information on the medicinal product. So this is just for example in order to understand how the packaging material that will provide the information and what kind of information it will provide. It will provide the identification number for dispensing record, or the identification number of the manufacturing, like say here you can see REV 0209, and here it is NDC 6864522159. Some kind of numbering system is there. Then there is a name, strength, and the quantity. Like say this is the name which is said to be the ibuprofen tablets USP, which is official. Strength is it is the 600 milligram ibuprofen tablet, and the quantity is this packaging material, or this packing will provide the 60 number of tablets of the ibuprofen. Then there are storage instructions. Like say here the storage instructions are given: protect from moisture, freezing, and excessive heat. Dispense contents in a tight container. Then the name and address of the dispenser and the manufacturing. Like say here it is distributed by Walmart and manufactured by the Dr. Reddy's laboratories. The direction for use, here some warnings has been given that like say you have to keep it out of reach of the children. What is the tamper evident? Do not use this product if the bottle seal is not intact. It is the child resistant. Tighten the cap on the bottle after use. And all these information you will be able to see. Take change or your health. Take charge of your health by taking your medication properly. So all these information that is going to be provided, and this purpose again that is going to be served by the packaging. So it will serve as the purpose of presentation and the giving the information. There are different kinds of containers that you can see in case of the pharmaceutical packaging. What the container is, this is the verbatim definition. A container for a pharmaceutical article is intended to contain a drug substance or drug product with which it is or may be in direct contact. The closure is part of the container. So this is the official definition which is given in case of the IP. So closure that will also included into the container. A container for a pharmacopoeial article is intended to contain a drug substance. Container is what? It is the substance or which will contain the drug product or drug product with which it is or may be in direct contact. The with the drug, the container that is directly in contact or sometime indirectly in contact, and the closure that will form the part of the container. The pharmaceutical container, they will serve the purpose of easy to use, protection, shelf life. These are the key points. So all these purposes that are going to be provided or that are going to be solved by the packaging material or by the containers. There is another type of container that is said to be the airtight container. So these are the types of container. What is the airtight container? Airtight container is a container that is impermeable to solids, liquids, gases under ordinary conditions of handling, storage, and transport. Airtight container will not allow permeability of solids, liquids, and the gases under the ordinary conditions. If the container is intended to be opened on more than once, it must be so designed that it remains airtight after reclosure. If we are opening and then if we are closing, it should remain the airtight. Next type of container is said to be the hermetically sealed container. A container that is impervious to air or any other gas under normal conditions of handling, shipment, storage, distribution, and for example, sealed glass ampoules or the gas cylinder, etc. So these are said to be the hermetically sealed containers. There is a light resistant container. The light resistant container that is used for the light sensitive products. A container that protects the contents from the effects of actinic light, like say the ultraviolet light, by virtue of the specific properties of the material of which it is made. That is said to be the light resistant container. How the light resistant container that is going to be produced? Alternatively, a clear or a colorless or a translucent container that may be made light resistant by means of an opaque, that is the light resistant covering, and or stored in a dark place. In such cases, a label on the container should bear a statement that the opaque covering or storage in dark place is needed until the content has been used up. So that means it is necessary in order to have the covering of the material, of the suitable material, which will not allow to pass the light, and it has to be always kept into the dark place. So all these are the different types of containers, like say the like resistant container, hermetical sealed container, and the airtight container. So these are going to be most of the time asked in case of the GPAT examination. So very clearly we should know the differences between these three. There are multi-dose container, there are sealed containers, and there is a single dose container. What the single dose container is? It is a container that holds a quantity of the preparation intended for total or partial use of a single administration, like say the ampule. So ampule, that is just for the single use, right? Like say just we have to break it at its neck, we have to take out the content and we have to inject. Same as the case related with the zental suspension, like although some dose that will remains into the container itself after its use, but it is just for the single use. It should not be reused. There are some kind of the sealed containers, a container that is closed by fusion of the material of the container, that is said to be the sealed container. And there are multiple dose containers, that is the container that hold a quantity of the preparation suitable for two or more doses. Like say this is